Hey, it's Allan Ferguson, and I want to welcome you to this podcast, Pipeline to Profitability, and proudly sponsored by Service Success Academy. Today, I have a really special guest, and I consider Billy Stevens one of the greatest guys in the industry. I also want to say that, in my view, Billy is without a doubt the smartest guy in the industry. He might agree, he might not. It doesn't really matter. And so a little bit that I know about Billy, and I'm not big on long intros, but I've known Billy for a couple of years now. I stalked him in the social world and reached out to him, and this man was kind enough to accept a call with me from down under. We got to know each other. We're both very passionate about the industry. And so a little bit about Billy is been in the industry probably same time as me. He was the proud founder or had a very successful company called Berkey's, which was taken over by the Wrench Group. Billy had a semi-retirement, from what I've been told. And I love the story that Billy decided to get back into the industry with his company BillyGo, which you might like to explain that story, as well as what I believe to be the greatest revolution in software for the industry, being Sira. And over to you, Billy. Welcome to this podcast.
Thanks for having me, Allan. I've been looking forward to this one. It's always a good time to spend time with you talking, and we spend a lot of time chit-chatting all the time about all the different things in our industry. And, I can say for a fact that Allan's just a lover of what this industry is all about. He's always trying to give back. He's got a lot of awesome ideas, and I enjoy my conversation with Allan all the time. So again, thank you for allowing me to come on to this show to talk a little bit about what we do and who I am. And so I got into this industry. My dad was a plumber, by the way, and he back in the 70s and 80s, it was, it wasn't what it is today. It was hard. If the economy got bad, you had really bad times. If it got good, you got busy again. And, I learned from that. I never wanted to live that kind of up and down lifestyle. And so I came up with, a few things to make my business run year round and avoid all the dips and not worry about the economy ever, even back in the 90s when I got started. And of course, now with today's technology, I mean, if you run your business right, you should never be affected by what's going on out there. In fact, Berkey's, prior to us starting that PE firm and doing that, we grew the most during the 07, 08, 09 real estate collapse. And we absolutely grew more then than we ever did in any other 3-year period. And so if you set your business up correctly while times are good, you do way better when times are bad. And that's just some quick advice for me before I get into anything today. I don't even think that's in the subject matter, but I wanted to talk about that. So, because I know that we've got some issues coming. I'm hearing a lot from a lot of contractors about it's kind of slowing down. Not so much in Texas. We don't see it as much. Texas is pretty much immune from all of this stuff that goes on in the rest of the country. But I do hear from contractors every day about how things have really slowed down for them. And so that's why I wanted to come on here and talk about our memberships, because memberships are the best way to get rid of the pitfalls of slow times. And memberships keep your customers coming back for more. I started BillyGo 4 years ago, and the whole idea behind BillyGo was to, be a beta tester for my software, Sira. And BillyGo was just going to, we were just going to grow a little business and then learn how to, build software around that business and then share it with everyone. Well, BillyGo just took off because of the things that we wanted to put in the software just made the company take off. And our plumbing side of the business is just astronomical. We sell hundreds and hundreds of water heaters every day. We sell hundreds, if not thousands, of sewer line drains replacements every week of the year. I mean, we just constantly stayed booked on these things. we do the occasional faucet repair, but we like water heaters and drain calls, and we like making those calls and doing the best that we can with them. And our software, Sarah, really helps those calls find us, if you will. It's designed to get the customer to pick you instead of everyone else when they're out there searching for a plumber. And that's one of the biggest things that has happened. And then not only that, because we have these big ticket calls, we get really good plumbers that want to come and work for us. And so we have a waiting list of plumbers. If we could get trucks, I could get more plumbers, because I have a waiting list, probably about 15, 20 plumbers deep, wanting to come work for our company, because they know what kind of company we run and how they can make a really good living all the time. And we only hire for no drama. So there's a lot of drama-free stuff going on in our company. But that's what I want to talk to you guys about, is how to, over the course of these podcasts with Allan over the next, months or whatever, years, we're going to hit on some, specific areas of businesses that I like to talk about. So, again, memberships are where we need to be thinking. Memberships create revenue for us in the bad times. They create repeat visits from the same customers over and over and over again. And once a customer trusts you, they will buy more from you, and you will have a lot less money going out the door trying to find more and more customers as you fill up the memberships. Memberships also are a form of MRR or ARR, which is MRR is monthly recurring revenue, and ARR is annual recurring revenue. And these are things that are measured on how healthy a business is when you have this type of income, other than just a service call. And the amount of attention that you can spend on these members when it comes to selling other things is just enormous. The average membership customer on BillyGo spends $2,100 with us per year, where the average non-member spends around $800 a year.
Wow.
So it's almost 3 times the amount of money. And they're also paying us to be members of our business. And this membership is really no different than a gym membership. We charge $99 a year for it, or you can charge $9.99 a month, $9.99 a month. And you get slightly more money monthly, but you get all the money at one time if you do it annually. So what I like doing is putting on there that we can come in and do a courtesy inspection. And in this courtesy inspection, we can find out a lot about their home just by going to the kitchen sink. And we go to the kitchen sink on every call. And the reason we do this is because the aerator, when you remove the aerator, it tells you a lot about the condition of the home. We already know there's slow drains in the bathrooms. They have, the lady of the house, or they have kids in the house, their drains are going to be draining slow because of all the hair that are in the shower and drain and in the lavatory drain. And so we already know we have something to talk about in those areas, because we're going to find all this debris in those P-traps, or if you pull it all out from the tub spout, or the drain in the tub. And so we like to go right in front of that kitchen sink and pull that aerator, because that aerator is telling us a couple of things that we can explain to the customer. And we don't go there by ourselves. We take the customer with us, and we walk over and we pull that aerator off. And you're going to either see minerals, or you're going to see plastic, or you're going to see both. And there's your storyline right there. First, that's whenever a customer calls you for a leaky faucet, or you're out doing inspections, you start at that aerator. And that plastic or those minerals will lead you to where? The water heater. The plastic's the dip tube, right? The minerals are in the bottom of the water heater. And so this leads you to the water heater. And now you're getting to lay your eyes on the water heater, and you get to see how old this thing is and what kind of conditions it is in. Make sure it's put together at code, passes code. It gives you opportunity to now take a simple faucet repair or just an inspection and turn it into a water heater call. And this is how we do it. We always involve the customer. We make sure we ask where one of the bathrooms are so that we can show them all the stuff in that lavatory P-trap. Or we can do it right there at the kitchen sink as well. But there's really no hair in the kitchen sink. where you want that hair, and that's in the bathroom. And once we show them this stuff, then we're pulling out a camera and we're taking a look. And where we live, the ground moves all the time. And I'm sure it's like that in most parts of the country. And this is just a simple way to give your customer an idea of what's going on with their plumbing system, and for you to have a look at everything and document what you're seeing. And maybe there's a sale there. Maybe there's something you can do to help them. And that's really what we do. That's what memberships help you do. They allow you to get in the house. They allow you to do this little brief inspection and then find this work and at least quote it. And now that you quoted it with our software, you can constantly talk to them about it. Even if they tell you no that day, our software will allow you to send them reminders about it and make sure everything's going fine, just checking in on them, whatever it is you want it to say in those emails. And we'll help you with those too as well. So,
Billy, can I just jump in for a sec?
Sure.
That was basically exactly one of the things that myself and Joe Cunningham trained with the perfect service call. But the way you did it, it makes it sound so friggin' easy. But a couple of things, I just want to go back to what you said. Water heaters and drains. I mean, if there was ever an area of focus for me, I used to love water heaters and I used to love drains because it priced correctly. And, we're going to, depending on time, we're going to touch on your margin pricing, which is built into your software. But drains, water heaters, and look, let's also look at it this way. Every home that we get in front of has a drain. They have a water heater. And, I train. Some of the training I've been doing in the last few weeks, and I've put together a fairly large library of online training, is on memberships, and the reason memberships are so powerful. And I was blessed to have been introduced to memberships when I joined Service Roundtable back around 2006. And the very first thing I did was build a really powerful membership plan for my companies. And one of the things that we have done, which I'm sure you include in your membership, Billy, is we make sure that every membership has a drain inspection, because that's really what we want. We want the camera down the drain. And but yeah, love what you've shared so far, and hoping today that we have a little bit of time to explore some of the other great things that Sarah does. Like, I've had some requests from some of the Service Nation members about your incentive plan, which I sat down with you and Tom Peregrino at your office. It was a month or two back, and you explained the simplicity of your pay plan, which blew my mind, how easy it was. And the other thing is how margin pricing works with everything you're about. So sorry to jump in there, but I had to grab the moment. And back to you, my friend.
Sure. So let's talk about margin pricing, and then we'll get into the pay plan. So on margin pricing. So I would hope that everyone watching this podcast is using flat rate pricing. It's time if you're not. I can just say that you really need to be doing your pricing like this. And then but the problem with just flat rate pricing is we don't get any vision into what the money's going for. We come up with a large number, let's say 400 an hour or 500 an hour, whatever it is y'all come up with, 300 an hour, whatever. Well, that's all fine and dandy, but you don't really know where this money is allotted. And therefore, you don't know how much of it is your labor cost. You don't know how much of it is your material cost. You don't know how much of it is your overhead cost, and all these different things. And what margin pricing does, it's still a flat rate concept. You just give one price to the customer, but it's a way to price your stuff and your business that will actually reflect how you want your financial statements to read. Now, if you're not doing financial statements, I mean, you need to learn, obviously. You need to, get your taxes done, right? We just have to. And most CPAs are very helpful when it comes to just explaining to you, what COGS are, cost of goods sold, all these things. And so that's what margin pricing does. It just breaks it down in a way that you can see specifically where the money's going and where you need to make adjustments so that you can become more profitable. And it doesn't always require raising prices. It just requires knowing where the money's going so that you can keep more of the money. So if you've got a business that's over $1 million, you're already generating enough money for you to make 20 to 25% of that. There's no reason why you shouldn't have $200,000 to $250,000 paid to you, the owner, after you pay everything else on $1 million business. The reason why it's not there right now is because you don't really know where your pricing is and where your costs are. And once you identify these, then you can start zeroing in on those. And that's where Sarah really helps you. Our software really helps you dial in on the numbers so that you can now price your product properly and see how efficient you are. The majority of your prices are probably just fine. They're probably maybe too high, but where you're losing it all is your inefficiency. And that's what Sarah does. It keeps you efficient. It lets you know that when you send Tech or Joe Bob the plumber out there to a job, that he's spending his time running around looking for parts, or maybe he's just a lot slower than the other guys. Sarah will identify that for you so that you can look and see that this guy is not making you as much money as maybe another guy. So now I need to train this guy and help him get better at what he's doing and get rid of all this running around looking for parts, because we can help you with that as well. And just streamline your business. You know, there's a lot of software out there that plumbers are using that just do the basic stuff that are very, very popular. There's several out there. I'm not going to name any names, but those software that you're using now, those beginner softwares is what we call them. You know, they help you do so much, but they don't give you that snapshot of the information that you need so that you can improve your business. And all the money, that 20 to 25% that should be in your profit and bottom line of your financials, it's already in your business. You're just losing it through all the inefficiencies that you can't measure with this beginner software that's out there.
And there's plenty of them out there. Sorry to jump in again, Billy.
Yeah, there is.
Something you shared with me, I'd love you to share with our listeners is, and this is what we realized that, and I've been saying this for years, that improve efficiencies by 1% in your business makes a massive difference to that bottom line. 2%, 3%. But we discussed the industry average as far as billable efficiencies is, let's call it 40%. Might be a little bit under for some, might be a little bit over for others.
I've never heard over 40.
No, you're right. And our goal was always 50%. But is it a fact that at BillyGo and the companies that you work with Sarah, you're above 70% efficiencies?
Yes, sir. We're consistently in the high 80% on every single call. And that even includes the calls where we get no money. We even cost, those go against the inefficiencies, right? And so if a tech goes out for no money, that is applied to the overall factor. And we're still 87, 88% month over month. When you do one calls, basically the calls that you went out and you sold them, and you just compare those, we're consistently about 106% efficient. So we got our time and all of our measurements down to the penny. Now we just need to figure out how to get our efficiency into the 90% range. We have a lot of technicians that have reached this goal individually where they're 90%. And I'm talking about not just BillyGo, but all throughout Sarah. And we have this really cool thing that we do with all of them that get into the 90% efficiency range. And it's become something that techs were never aware of before. And in my opinion, it's more important than revenue, because if you can become that efficient, the revenue will come with it because the efficiency is good. And then the profits come right behind it. I mean, it just changes everything. And this can be done, guys, and literally you can change all this in a week from where you are today. In a week, once you're on Sarah, a week running on Sarah, and you start seeing it come clear to you immediately. 30 days after running on Sarah, you're a master at this and you're working on it and you're getting it done. That's the thing that's really cool about it. It's not a complicated software, but it does so many things that no other software in this industry can do. and it's all automated. That's the beautiful part of it. We don't require a lot from you. We just need to help you on board, see what your business is all about, get that stuff entered in there, and then off you go. And this is what we do.
Just something that impressed me, Billy. Sorry to keep interrupting you, man, but
go ahead.
You're throwing so much gold nuggets at everyone. Something that really got my attention, and that's why I got to get to know this software. That's why I've asked for to go through your Sira Academy, which is mind blowing. The number of touch points on a call. Now, I think I probably won't quote this right, but you'll correct me, I'm sure. The average call has 26 to 28 touch points. Your software's got it down to, am I right with saying 4?
3.
Wow.
Mm-hmm. Yes, sir. We've automated about 20 of those out of the day-to-day walk of life in our industry, right? So what we've been able to do is, cut down on the interactions between, plumber out in the field or the office, the customer. We built Sarah to where everybody's on the same page, and we simplify all the interactions and automate as much as possible so that everybody can do their job more efficiently and bring more money in for the company. Because the company needs to make money so that it can survive, and it needs to be able to provide with better, better insurance, better lifestyle, better everything, right? And that is what it's all about, is how do we simplify these complicated businesses that we run every day? And by doing that, we create a lot of profit within these businesses, and we do it fast. It doesn't take years. It takes weeks, and your business is transformed into this money-making machine.
Impressive. Now, I know we've talked about this, and I know the short-term plan is not to get the software down under, but when it does, I want to be all over it. So something I'll probably talk to you at another time, but I would love to be able to, I'm a coach in the industry. My expertise is helping companies get extreme profit from drains and trenchless technologies, which is something that I did make a promise to you. I want to find an area within BillyGo that I can help you to improve profits. It'll be one of my biggest challenges, but I'm a very determined individual. But so, and I want to leave a couple of minutes to discuss your incentive plan, which I know you've simplified. But if there was a contract, I'm working with a few contractors in Australia, and if there was anything that we know, they know that the software, your Sira software, is not going down under just yet, but what should they do if they want to improve the profitability of their business with some of the software products in Australia are not that good. I think there is an American product which is starting up down under, but we won't discuss them. But so what's something that our Australian friends can do right now to improve the efficiencies to become more profitable without having this amazing product, Sira?
Well, I agree that I think the very first thing you should do to become more profitable is, you need to get a membership program under control, and get that out there and get that moving. And then I think the biggest money exchanger is this pay plan. I've got a very simple pay plan that technicians understand. They get raises all week long. They make more money than they've ever made before, and the company makes money as well. And it's very easy to operate. It takes no time at all for them to understand it. They can see it. Whether they have Sarah or not doesn't matter. I can share that with you guys down under with just a spreadsheet. And and then however you use your currency, I don't know what Australian currency is, but it'll work the same. You'll never lose another plumber because someone else is offering more money. I can tell you that. That'll never happen again. And then you'll start getting more plumbers because of the way that we pay. And it doesn't break the bank. It doesn't break the bank for the company. It doesn't, and it really helps the technicians as well. Maybe on another show, I know your shows are about 30 minutes. Maybe another show we can dedicate just to this subject alone, just the pay system alone.
I'd love to, Billy, if you can make that work, because that is an area that a lot of contractors really, besides being more efficient and more profitable, but that is an area that there's a lot of interest, especially within Service Nation. So I would be excited to be able to do that again. But you're a busy man. We just got to find a time that we can make this work.
Yes, sir.
So, look, we're probably getting towards the end of the podcast now. I do this to all my guests, and I want to thank you again, Billy. I'm forever grateful for not just the value that you add to me, and you've impressed me so much that I'm remodeling my training to be very in tune with the way that Cira works, because I know there's going to be your business is growing rapidly, and you've got some big players coming on board, which is really exciting for you. But this is where I like to conclude every podcast I do, and I know that you're an avid reader. So is there any particular book right now that you're reading that you would like to recommend to our audience?
Believe it or not, I'm reading with my employees, Rich Dad, Poor Dad.
Right.
I've read it a couple of times already, years and years ago, but I bought every single one of our plumbers a Rich Dad, Poor Dad book, and we review that book every 2 weeks. A lot of them don't like reading, but the way we engage them in this book, I highly recommend that you pick it up and then you give it to your employees. It's all about increasing or improving your culture and your business, right? And we need to reinvest back into our employees. And that's what we do here at BillyGo. We really are in tune with our employees. We help them understand money as well. And if they understand money, then when you're trying to teach them about the business and why it's not making money or why we need to make money, then they'll understand it better and they'll jump on board with you better, and the culture improves. And so we simplify the way you pay them. We improve the culture that way. We talk to them about their own personal finances and help them improve, which again is investing right back in them, and should even help you, because if you're teaching someone something, then you're going to do it as well. Yep. And you're going to get better at it as well. And so to answer your question, is a long-winded answer for what book am I reading, but we currently as a company are reading Rich Dad, Poor Dad right now.
That's fantastic, Billy. I really love that. That's something, I used to provide regular training with all my team on personal finance, investing in real estate, anything to help them to get ahead. And, at one point I had several staff working within my company that had multiple properties that they were renting out. And anyone that knows the Australian real estate market, it's really expensive. Like, you can't buy anything under $1 million now. And one of my staff, he had like 9 properties. I'm going, oh my God! And he's working for a wage, well paid. I believed in paying our guys well, and that's a fantastic recommendation, Billy. And but again, I want to thank you for all you do for the industry. This has been a fantastic podcast, one that I'm going to go and listen to, because every time I talk to you, I learn so much, and I'm sure everyone that's tuned in today will as well. So thank you again, Billy. And I really do appreciate everything you do. And so this is us, myself, the legend Billy Stevens, and this has been a fantastic podcast. Thanks again for joining me, Billy. And I'll catch everyone on the next podcast.
All right. Thank you.
Cheers, buddy. Take care.